Hi there, welcome, how are you? Have you noticed over the last couple of months there's been so many new cameras coming onto the market, like the Fuji X-E4, XS10, Canon cameras, Sony cameras. Doesn't it make you wonder if this little lovely thing is still okay in 2021? The Sony A6400, cool camera. Well, if you're just like me and you think, hey, no way, this is a cool camera. If you're thinking of buying one, this is a pretty awesome camera. So if you think that way, hit that like button below and let me know in your comments why you think it's still awesome. Anyways, I'm going to explain you that in this video. So we're going to do a bit of a photography review. We're going to look at the ergonomics of this camera and also why I think this is perfect, especially those who are filming, but also for the photographers and the ones who are doing both. So here we go. If we look at this particular camera, it's small, it's light, it's got a flip up screen, which is awesome when you want to record video. It's got the possibilities to connect a external mic. You can actually do some live streaming from this with the wonderful app, the image app, and with that you pretty much have the entire basis covered. Now we have a 24 MB, I wanted to say millimeter, but MB sensor, which normally should do the trick for photography and for filming. So let's go into the photography part right now. One of the benefits of Sony systems is, and this is both for photography and filming, but specifically for photography, is the razor sharp autofocus. It has more than 400 points of autofocus. Actually, it's almost 800, as you can see here. It's fantastic. It tracks it everywhere. It seldom lets it down. So if you're into photography, fast moving objects, animals, birds, human beings on bikes, cars, machines, it doesn't matter. If you're into nature, landscaping, it still does a wonderful job. That is what you get for this. Yeah, so, but great cameras, to be very honest, aren't just made because of this. The most important thing on your camera is your lens, and that is where I think Sony has such a great value to offer, because Sony has not one mount, it actually has 3 mounts, native mounts. So you've got the E mount for the APS-C camera, like the A6400 is. You've got the FE mount, where I'm filming on right now, for the Sony A7 III, which are compatible to this particular mount. Now, how awesome is that? Sure, you get a bit of crop, everything, but you can still take some fantastic glass and you put it on here for a full frame. And one little thing that has been overlooked over the last couple of years is a little announcement a couple of weeks ago. Sony is no longer making DSLR cameras, and DSLR cameras had the A mount. Now with that, I've seen a lot of people selling off their Sony A mounts, and that's where there's a lot of value, because they are compatible with the E mount via a adapter like this one. Yes, it's an awesome value proposition, and you can get some really good lenses for low money, and it's all native, so they are still compatible, as you can see here, with the autofocus. Now that is fantastic. That's one of the reasons is a great camera doesn't always mean great pictures, but a great lens and a great camera combined, you've got a winner. Anything that Sony makes, you'll sooner or later have Sigma and Tamron copying it, putting the same lenses on the market, yes, for less money. That's pretty awesome. Then you have Samyang, or Rokinon as it's called in the US, which do the same thing. So you have already 3 great lens companies pushing out cheaper lenses with great quality. That's not the only one. You've got Viltrox, you've got Venus Liowa or Loa Venus, Venus Optics in the US, also putting out some great lenses. And then below that, you've got Chinese manufacturers like Mikey, 7 Artisans, Kamlan, putting out really affordable lenses for your Sony system. So that's awesome. So for photography, I honestly think you can't go wrong on this camera, and the form factor itself is pretty awesome. Battery life, purely for photography, if you only do photography, you don't put on your 4K, is 400 shots, which is pretty decent. It's a half an afternoon. If you bring in a few batteries, no problem, you'll last. That's awesome. So for photography, this is in 2021 still a wonderful choice, people. It's awesome. What do you think? Do you think this, would you like upgrade to a $6,000 camera? No, buy this one. It's awesome. Anyways, filming. Now, I'm not the biggest cinematic person here, but I bought this camera purely for my YouTube channel, so Talking Head. And why did I do that? Because of the autofocus and because of this wonderful lens the Sigma 16mm. So if you have a YouTube channel and you're thinking of buying this camera, as long as you pair it with a lens between 14 and 20mm, not even 24 because you really crop in and then it becomes like this, you can't go wrong. And again, I have the 16mm here from Sigma, but you can also use one of the FE lenses, but there's a bit of a crop on it. Regardless, you're gonna have an awesome camera for your simple YouTube studio experience. It's really simple. Now the second part is run and gun vlogs outside. Yeah, that normally means that you will need some stabilization either in your lens or via a gimbal, because if you do this just walking around, yeah, there's too much micro jitters. It's really gonna mess you up. Additionally, I don't think that when it comes to that particular style of vlogging, despite what a lot of big YouTubers do, I don't think this is the best camera out there. I think there's better options there, but it will still do an acceptable job as long as you accept some of the limitations. And in this case, specifically when you're outside and you're filming 4K, what you will have is your battery will have to work hard, so it drains fast. The body will start overheating, and before you know it, you have your hands all burned off and your camera switches off. That is kind of crappy, specifically for filming. Regardless of what you do, the great thing about this camera is it's got no recording limit. No recording limit. So the only thing you have to do is keep your camera cool, so you can do it with a dummy battery so that it doesn't overheat and you can endlessly record. This is not like with any of the Fuji cameras, some of the Canon cameras, Lumix, they're all capped at 5, 10, 20 minutes and sometimes half an hour. Then we go to the last part, which is more the cinematic approach to things. Yes, film has increasingly become one of the main commercial outlets. So you see a lot of people filming either products or, like I do, talking about products, live, whatever it is, but you see a huge demand for good looking cinematic graded film. And this is where this camera, although it's small, and yes, Sony has some great dedicated cameras for film, yeah, the 7C and the 7S series I think, but those are about 2.5 to 3 times the price, not including lenses, in some cases specific dedicated video cards. So why would you use this one? Well, because of all the profiles you have, all the logs as they call it. You've got a ton of them in here, from the S logs, you've got the HLG, I'm not so well into it. But regardless, once you pair this with a gimbal, you've got a good cinematic lens on it. And again, check out the description to that link for cinematic lens. You can basically color grade whatever you want to on this camera. And indeed, it is an 8-bit codec for a lot of people who are familiar with cinematic color grading. That might not be good enough, but I really think that if you know what you're doing, you can get some A-class footage out of this little baby. In 2021, I honestly see no reason why somebody shouldn't buy it, or why you should sell it because it really is out of fashion. It isn't. It is a wonderful, awesome camera. Stay healthy, stay safe, keep on laughing. And by the way, I'm very cheery because I listen to UB40's greatest hits for an hour and a half, and these guys jack me up. So thank you very much for watching. Enjoy.